and your cameras so you can do screenshots of things so you can capture information. But really, I'm going to start where I intend to finish. And that is to say that Collagen Boost, which we are really, really proud of, is a supplement to the health protocol. So the way that you start to really invest in your skin, your health, and your holistic health is with the health protocol. It's with Balance Oil, it's with Xenobiotic, and it's with Extend or Extend Plus. That is the daily, the pillar of what we do. And then comes along Boost, which is exactly what it says on the label. It's a boost in something that is specifically targeted to enhance the health. And by enhancing the health of your skin, the appearance, its firmness, and every attribute that a person might like. So I will bring up the slide deck. Let us delve into it the same way that I did on stage, but without the lights. And I will try and do this in a meaningful but succinct manner. So the reality is that now more than ever, people have woken up to the evidence, the research, and we understand that for us to have meaningful health and glowing and shiny, good skin, then what we need to invest in is that feeling good equals looking good, and looking good equals feeling good. So what we want to do is foster good health. And that phrase that some of you will have heard or even shared, which is that, wow, you look healthy. And that is a big giveaway to everything else I could discuss. Because when we are healthy, we look healthy. And when something is compromised, when something's not right, then we show that in our skin. The skin is an indicator. It's the biggest organ of the body, and it reveals to the world, as well as protecting us from the world, what our health status is like. Now, a conventional skin routine can only go so far. So when we use the application of things like creams and lotions and these types of things, they have their place. 100% they have their place. But the way I keep explaining this is the way I'm going to explain it now, is that you might have on your driveway, outside of your house or apartment, a beautiful looking car. And you may go out there every single day and you may polish and wash that car so that it looks fantastic. But all of that is wasted time and effort if the engine doesn't work. If the wheels don't turn, what you've got is something that looks beautiful, but it's masking something that has broken down. What we're about is ensuring that the engine is in peak condition, that the wheels turn beautifully, and so that that shine reflects the truth, and that that shine is actually sustainable, and that that shine shows what the performance is all about. And so a conventional skin routine, which is the applications of creams and ointments, can only go so far. And what we need to recognize is that the skin, as a part of a biological ecosystem, is hardwired to health, and that when we invest in its health, then we get the best overall outcome. More and more consumers are recognizing this too, and I'm aware that the people on this call, you will be active as partners. You are in the field, you are networking, you are sharing information, recruiting partners and recruiting customers. And that's important to know because you are leaning on an open door. More of the industry is waking up to the fact that actually, in order to do this well and in order to do this properly, you have to take an approach that addresses health, and that is all about considering the choices we make primarily around nutrition, how we can foster real, sustainable, meaningful health from the inside to the out. And you've probably heard it, like skin from within. It's become a cliche, but the reason why it's become a cliche is because it's true. People are using the term because it stands up under the weight of investigation. If you really want to look well, then you have to be well. So let's look at some more key insights. Irritated skin is a telltale sign that something is out, and typically this commences with the gut. And we have something that I'll mention repeatedly over these minutes, which is what we call the gut-skin axis. You may be more familiar with the notion of the gut-brain axis. We know that the gut is hardwired to the brain via the vagus nerve, and that over 90% of the communication between those two places goes from the gut to the brain. And similarly, which I will illustrate in a moment, There is the gut-skin axis. There is a direct means of communication that is transferred from the gut to the skin, which is a telltale sign of something either working well or something being off within the skin. And I know there are a number of people on this call, and certainly a number of people in Zinzino, who operate within the skincare field. This is their primary interest. This is why balance oils prove to be so profound for them, because of the change it makes. And you know well that the skin is an indicator. It tells us something about everything else that is going on. As it is the messenger, it's keeping a check. It has a surveillance system. It's hardwired from a vascular point of view and from your immune system point of view, which is really transferring messages from the gut, from the inside to the outside, and therefore you are what you wear on your skin. And if our inner organs are off balance, if there's a problem, then we'll see that on the surface. Right the way back to that comment, you look healthy, you look well, or in the worst instance, you don't look so well. We show where we are. The skin is our first line of defense. Now, I don't want to take you through this as a full schematic. I really want this illustration to just prove a simple point. This that we see on the surface is literally the last phase of the skin. It's the epidermis, it's the skin that's about to be shed, and it comes from beneath. And if you look beneath, you will see just how hardwired the skin is to our overall biology. It has a vascular system, it has a neurological system, it's directly in tune and plugged in to the endocrine, the immune system. And so you have to realize that this is a living biological ecosystem. In fact, it's one of the biotas. The skin is a biota. You have the oral biota, you have the gut biota. The skin is a biota. It's an intact ecosystem. And so I want you to consider this, because when we look at a conventional routine, which is the application of something on the top, that really is an application of the last phase of the skin. And if you really like ourselves from a preventative health point of view, if you really want to invest in tomorrow, if you want to invest in next month and next year, then your attention should be drawn to all of this beneath the surface, investing in this and ensuring that that is vital and vitalized. The skin must be nourished from within in order for it to stay healthy, resilient, and radiant, and recognizing that the skin is our defense against the elements. It's our first line of defense. And so every investment in it truly is an investment in us. And so recognizing we have the gut-skin axis, recognizing that health and the skin is from within, then we need to look at, well, how do we keep the gut in shape? And here it is. It's a really simplification of the model, but it gives you the key elements of how the model works. The gut biome is, I love this phrase, it's a tropical rainforest. I also love the phrase that it's the center of the human universe. It really, really is. And so whenever we make decisions that are proactive in, will this optimize my gut functionality? Will this preserve my gut health? We're making good choices. If that is our thermometer on the things that we do, and particularly if we're going to look at what's going to reveal itself in the skin and on the skin at another point in time, recognizing the needs of that gut. And here's the communication pathway as it is, from the gut via the bloodstream, through the immune function, directly to the skin. And this needs no disruption. There is nothing along the way that needs to feed in, it feeds forward. It's a direct means of communication. When it's nurtured for, much like the rest of the system, because the system is one and it's all intact, you will continually reap the benefits. Now let's look into the key aspect of what this product is, collagen, and why that's important to us and why it's something we would add to the health protocol. Well, 80% of our skin is made up of collagen. And again, I love this phrase. It's the glue that binds us together. If you imagine all these individual aspects, and in fact, I was having a conversation with my daughter at the weekend about science, and we were discussing atoms and the fact that there is always space between atoms, which is true. But then there are substances, there is matter that binds atoms. And if you think of that in the human context, we're talking about collagen. Is the matter that binds all of these radical and phenomenal things together. And so when there's less of it, there's less of things to bind. You can think of that like a bridge, and you want a bridge to be intact and you want it to be strong and robust. But if there are less parts to the bridge are you really going to drive that car across it? So think of that in the context, or think of all of this in the context of architecture, and making sure that if it's a house, there are enough bricks or wood. If it's a bridge, there are enough cables and everything else. And over time, which I'll reveal in a moment, we know we're going to have a lessening. And so we need to be proactive in ensuring there is enough of the matter, the glue, that binds us together. And collagen keeps your skin firm and plump, keeps your hair shiny, your nails strong. And these are all really good indicators. Just being able to look at your nails. Are they brittle? Or are they really firm? Are they strong? Are they good indicators of health? Likewise for the hair, and certainly for the skin. Also, which we don't talk a lot in this, but I actually overheard Orion mention this on the leader counter call this morning, and he's absolutely right. It plays a fundamental role with regards to muscle strength, and it supports the bones and joints. And maybe we need to discuss that more in the future, because it's such an important aspect of what this product contributes towards. But there is a problem with skin as we age. We get a loss of hydration in the skin, which leaves it leaving dry. And actually there you can see the first part of a simple test that you can do, which I'll go through with you in a moment. We have a loss of collagen over time, and that supports skin elasticity, muscle mass, and strength. And then that imbalanced gut biota is going to show itself on the skin. So what I'd like you to do now, and you may have done this with me before, is just pinch the back of your hand and let it go. And have a look at how fast or slow that recoils. It's a really good indicator of skin quality, elasticity. Now, I'm 52, believe it or not. And when I let it go, it goes back, thankfully. But I actually did this test several times with my 11-year-old daughter, and she was amazed how slow mine was, because hers just springs back like it never happened. And ours, you have to be careful how many times you do it, because it'll slow down. But if you do it once or twice, you get a good indicator. And that, as we age, it naturally slows because there's less of these things available. Remember, we're all about preventative health. So we have this notion of recognizing what's going to happen and then being proactive and preventative in doing something about it. And that's important when we consider this, is that we will start to lose around about 1% of our total collagen every year from the age 21. At age 21, more or less, we reach our full maturation, we stop growing, and we start to age. And we start to experience those age-related changes. And so from around about the age 21, we're losing about 1% of our total collagen per year. And unfortunately, it accelerates. And by the time we're in our 50s, we've lost up to a third. And for some people, it can be a little bit more. And the rate of acceleration can be more pronounced as well, based on things like your hydration, your sleep, your alcohol consumption, your food types, and critically, do you consume enough collagen? Are you replacing, replenishing, putting back in what is naturally being lost? Which is obviously the most intelligent thing to do, is recognize this will happen and be proactive in doing something about it. This really is illustrated nicely across a simple graph, and I want you to just pay attention to the top illustration and the circle. So around about age 35, the skin still looks pretty robust, and we can see lots of hyaluronic acid, collagen, and the elastin. You can see it's nicely present, filling that circle. By 45, we can start to see a change in the skin, the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and that correlates with a loss of hyaluronic acid, collagen, and elastin. And then we get into our 50s, and now we see a pronounced change. And for those of you who may not know, and the really good quality research in the area of aging tells us there are gateways of aging, 50 being one of them, 65 being another, and then the plus 70 category. We see these kind of bigger leaps in aging processes. And what we see here is typical. So from 35 to 55 in a mere 20 years, what you see is an abundance that leads to really quite a radical absence. And so what we need to do is recognize, okay, I can see the parts that are missing. The intelligent thing to do is to put them back in. And that's why you can slow down the process. Anyone who knows me will know that I don't like hyper over-promising science that, promises the world to people and delivers very little. When we started to develop this product, we went really to the core of the best emerging research in the area. What can we confidently say that matters and makes a difference in this space? And what is it we should do? And what occurred to us was two things. First of all, we recognized what should be done and what should be together. And secondly, we were astounded that no one else had done it. It was really a case of, well, when you pile all the research evidence up and you know what it takes, why has no one done this? And the reason why no one's done it is simple. It's complex and it can be costly. It took a lot of research and development, a lot of resources, and most of the products that are available take one or the other route. What we did was combine all the best parts. We filtered, we eliminated some things that other people do, but more importantly, we combined in an innovative and pioneering way everything that everyone should do. And we went right to the top of everything we could put into this product. And that's how we arrived at this beautiful concept, which is the Zinzino Collagen Boost. I was proud of this before we launched it. I was really happy that collectively, as a strategy team and as a product team and everything from every aspect of Zinzino, believe me, that we really delivered on something that was special. But now that it's had its own life for over a week, I'm even more proud. I mean, social media just went off. I've seen testimonies, I've seen accounts, I've seen people talking about it, their initial reactions. It's been phenomenal, really has been phenomenal. And now we need to capture all that and share that with the world. And it is a liquid marine collagen shot infused with a mix of superior nutrients. And I can say that faithfully, with accuracy, and with pride. So let's see what we did. Well, we went straight to the top. We put in 8 grams of liquid marine collagen peptides from Arctic wild-caught fish. So it's MSC certified, which I'll come back to in a minute, which means it meets the highest standards of ethical procedure when it comes to how it's fished, where it's taken from, and those procedures. But it's also, which I'll emphasize, the highest grade of collagen peptide with 1.5 times more absorption. So this really is. You will see on the market mono products that are just collagen, that will say they're a high collagen product, that will have 5 grams in, 6 grams, and maybe some vitamin C. This is where our product starts, and we put 8 grams in, which is right at the top of what we believe should be the daily recommendation. Then we took on the hyaluronic acid. Again, most people in this space have a separate product. So they'll have a collagen product and they'll have a hyaluronic acid product. And their high in hyaluronic acid product might have 80 milligrams or 100 milligrams. Well, we infused our 8 grams of collagen with 120 milligrams of hyaluronic acid. It should be pointed out that hyaluronic acid can retain up to 1,000 times its own weight in moisture, in fluid, which is what contributes towards the retention of moisture within the skin. Then we got into our pre and postbiotics. Spent a lot of time at the start of this discussing the gut, and I'm going to simplify this because this is not a good talk. Prebiotics feed the gut bacteria, the good gut bacteria, and postbiotics are what those good gut bacteria should produce, and they have a functional role. And so what we've done is we've gone, okay, we're going to feed them, to nurture them, to nourish them so that they can flourish. And just in case, because for most people it can be an issue, we're going to add some of those posts so that all the functionality of those postbiotics is there too. So we really are complementing the gut with everything it needs in order for it to thrive and not just survive. Then we delved into our vitamin C and our other 7 active ingredients. One of the most researched areas when it comes to skin health is vitamin C. And that's why a lot of companies will complement a collagen with vitamin C or a hyaluronic acid with vitamin C. For us, it was important too, but as you can see, it's one part of a 12-part puzzle. It's not just something that props up another active. So it is in there from a great source along with 7 other actives. Are all types of collagen created equal? Well, the answer is no. They're all really important, but they have 3 different types and they influence different things. And we get asked this a lot. And since doing this talk, I've been asked this a lot. So really take a note now, take a picture of this screen. Type 1 is the most abundant in our bodies, makes up around about 90% of our total collagen. and it's used to provide structure, architecture to skin, tendons, ligaments, and bones. Type 2, because people will say to me, why didn't you put type 2 in? Space is critical. We want to put in the best things that are going to address the gut and the skin. The reason we didn't put type 2 in is because type 2 is the most abundant in cartilage. Important, but a different goal, a different target. Cartilage is the suspension system of the joints. Okay, think of it that way. And then type 3, well, this is a different type of structure, back to architecture. This relates to the gut, and it relates to veins and arteries, muscles, organs, and that's why it was important to us. So for us, the intelligent thing to do was to utilize the space available and top out with the ones that were most going to target the result we were trying to achieve. Type 1 and type 3. They lend themselves perfectly and immediately to what it is we are focused on. When we look at our collagen peptides, I've already mentioned this, it's highly bioavailable. It's absorbed 1.5 times more efficiently than bovine or porcine. And that's really important because it has a great alignment, synergy, compatibility with our existing collagen. So not only does it have a higher absorption, but it also has a high compatibility. It's just like very similar to the collagen you already have in your body. And this supports a more sustainable process for collagen extraction and has less of it reduces the environmental impact, which goes right back to that MSC certification. We are always ethical in what we do. We are always looking to the future of what we do. And it's important to us that we have the least impact on those kind of ecological systems that we rely on to optimize our health. And that's why we've not just gone for the highest grade of collagen, but also the highest level of certification. So you can have every bit of faith that we've met the ethical and effective requirements of this type of product. It's a premium hydrolyzed marine collagen, type 1 and 3, MSC certified, sourced from traceable and sustainable wild-caught Arctic cod and haddock from the Norway region. So there you go, folks. We can certify it, we can trace it, we can guarantee it. What is hyaluronic acid? I've discussed it a lot. It's a natural occurring substance found in the body, just like collagen. It also deteriorates with age. It's the fluid that you find in connective tissue. It's in the skin. It's in your eyes. And it consists of cellular components and an extracellular matrix. So you can understand, because we've discussed these things a lot, its needs are complex. It really are. And so where there is a challenge from a dietary point of view, there's going to be a compromise at a hyaluronic acid point of view. So what do? We encourage you on the daily. Balance oil, xenobiotic, and your option for extend. And then what we do here is we replace those missing levels of hyaluronic acid. It fortifies skin resilience, creating a natural barrier to help lock in moisture, retain water, keep your skin hydrated, nice and plump and supple. And remember, hydrated skin is better equipped to repel external irritations. Remember, the skin is your first line of defense. I know we all put clothes on, particularly this time of year, but I promise you, your skin is your first line of defense against airborne pathogens, the environment. So not only is it a signaler, but it's your best defense mechanism. So it really is worthy of your best investment. I've already discussed pre and postbiotics, but here's a summary for you to take a quick snapshot of. So those prebiotics are stimulating gut health, we're feeding the gut, and those postbiotics are providing a dual gut-skin benefit, promoting digestive health, skin hydration, moisture retention. These are the end products. So remember, if there's any issue in the middle, there's a compromise to how many end products of that sequence we have. What we're addressing is feeding the good gut bacteria and replacing or adding to, topping up those that might be missing at the third step of that process. So it addresses the gut, and by addressing the gut, it addresses the gut-skin axis, and then we have all those actives that target the skin. And these actives help to absorb the collagen. So they're synergistic, it's about upregulation, but also about their direct influence on things like maintenance of normal skin, hair, muscle function, nails, all of these things that were the target The whole aim of this project was to enhance the health and well-being of these aspects of the human system. So we have vitamin C plus 7 additional actives. We've got rice bran ceramides, we've got biotin and zinc, copper, bilberry fruit, L-arginine, and glycine. Each one I could do a whole talk on. And in fact, if you tune in to meetings of minds this week, who knows, we might delve into all of this in much more depth because we have an hour and perhaps a world leading expert along to discuss it all with us. Our daily recommendation for adults over 21, because prevention is better than cure, is 1 gel sachet per day for a minimum of 10 days. So you take it for 10 days, back to back, each month, every month. Do you know that question that people ask about balance oil? And they go, what, do I take this every day? And we go, yes, you take it every day. It's really simple. The question is, do I do this for 10 days every month? You do, as a minimum. You do it for 10 days every month. And the benefits you get in month 5 compared to the ones you get in month 1 will be remarkable and measurable. And we're looking forward to those testimonies. It's designed to jumpstart the natural process. So to kickstart that synthesis of your body's own natural production of collagen over those 10 days. It's a high dose intervention to kickstart and boost the body's production. And in summary, just to go over those ingredients again, 8 grams of liquid marine collagen, 120 milligrams of hydrating hyaluronic acid, pre and postbiotics, vitamin C, and 7 active ingredients. And there in our conclusion are key benefits. Beautiful skin from within, restored skin elasticity, instant replenished look, and helping to restore that gut microbiota. I will now close down my slides. I will stop sharing. Thank you all. I didn't keep an eye on the clock. I think I'm on time. That's good enough for me. Thank you very much, Hilda, for allowing me to talk this through again and help people to understand. Thank you all so much for your feedback so far, and we look forward to more feedback in the future.
Well, thank you so much, Colin. I absolutely love this presentation, and every time that you do it, I learn something new.